The world has been waiting for a breakthrough like this. Something that would change the rules of motion itself. And today, it's finally happened. Maxwell has revealed what many thought was impossible: the world's first self-powered car. No charging stations. No fuel tanks. No plug-ins. Just pure, self-generating energy that keeps the car moving indefinitely. This isn't a rumor. It's real, and it's already running. When the name Maxwell first began circulating in the world of clean tech innovation, many dismissed it as just another bold claim, one of those too-good-to-be-true projects that disappear before proving themselves. But Maxwell's team didn't vanish. They went silent. And in that silence, they built something that defies traditional engineering, a vehicle that doesn't depend on the grid, the pump, or even sunlight. The secret behind Maxwell's self-powered car lies deep within a unique energy regeneration system that operates independently. It's a closed-loop design, meaning the car produces and reuses its own power continuously. Imagine a car that captures its own motion, converts it into usable electricity, and channels that energy back into its propulsion system with almost no loss. That's exactly what Maxwell has achieved. Early footage shows a sleek prototype gliding down a test track, smooth and silent, with no visible exhaust or charge port. Every sensor, every component, and every motion appears perfectly calibrated. Engineers monitoring it aren't just testing a car, they are witnessing a revolution unfold in real time. The numbers are jaw-dropping. Infinite range, zero emissions, and near-zero maintenance. It's like a perpetual motion machine, except, this time, it's real. The core innovation, insiders say, combines several cutting-edge technologies: electromagnetic regeneration, microrotor induction, and solid-state energy storage. These components work together in harmony, allowing the car to produce consistent power without needing to refuel or recharge. Unlike traditional electric vehicles that rely on lithium-ion batteries, Maxwell's creation runs on a custom-designed high-efficiency energy matrix. Think of it as a living heart that keeps pumping energy through the system endlessly. This car doesn't just break the rules, it rewrites the entire book of transportation. For over a century, mobility has been chained to consumption of fuel, of batteries, of resources. Every car we've ever built has been dependent on something external to keep it alive. Maxwell's breakthrough cuts that chain. It's self-sustaining, self-charging, and self-running. The moment you start it, it keeps going. What's even more fascinating is how it achieves balance between power and stability. During tests, when the vehicle accelerates, the internal power feedback system increases its energy capture efficiency. When it slows down, regenerative dynamics feed excess kinetic energy back into the loop. In essence, the car never wastes a single drop of motion. Everything is recycled, every rotation counted, every vibration turned into usable power. The result? A car that can theoretically run forever. The implications are staggering. Imagine fleets of delivery vehicles that never stop to charge. Imagine long-distance road trips with no need for fuel. Imagine entire transportation networks that never draw a single watt from the grid. Maxwell isn't just presenting a car, he's presenting a shift in how humanity interacts with motion itself. Industry experts are stunned. Some call it the holy grail of transportation. Others remain skeptical, demanding open testing and verification. But one thing is undeniable: the prototype exists. It moves, it sustains, and it doesn't stop. Maxwell's team has already released limited footage and confirmed that public demonstrations are coming soon. The world's major automakers are watching closely. Rumors suggest that several have already reached out to Maxwell's company, seeking licensing rights or partnerships. But Maxwell seems determined to keep the technology independent, at least for now. In his words, this isn't about competition. It's about evolution. What makes this moment even more powerful is the timing. As the world struggles with energy shortages, rising costs, and environmental crises, a self-powered vehicle isn't just innovation, it's liberation. No emissions, no resource dependency, and no environmental guilt. A car that powers itself could mean a world where clean mobility isn't a privilege, but a standard. Those who've seen it in person describe it as surreal. There's no engine noise, no vibration, no heat from exhaust. The car glides like a whisper. Inside, it's filled with advanced sensors, autonomous systems, and an ultralight power control core that continuously balances energy flow. Every aspect of it feels futuristic, yet grounded in reality. Maxwell's journey to this moment wasn't easy. Sources close to the project reveal that he faced years of skepticism, funding challenges, and technical dead ends. Early prototypes reportedly failed to achieve continuous operation. But with each failure, the system improved. Maxwell and his engineers refined every component until it achieved stable, self-sustaining power output. What's truly impressive is the scalability. The same energy loop system could, in theory, be applied to motorcycles, buses, trucks, or even aircraft. The dream of a truly independent transport network, one that doesn't rely on fossil fuels or external charging infrastructure, suddenly looks achievable. Governments are already taking notice. Energy policy advisors in multiple countries are reportedly preparing to meet with Maxwell's team to understand how this innovation could reshape national energy strategies. It's not just about cars, it's about everything that moves. Of course, challenges remain. Regulatory approval, mass production, and safety validation are massive hurdles. But given what's already been achieved, those hurdles seem smaller than ever. If Maxwell can bring this to market within the next few years, the global automotive landscape will never be the same again. In every great era of human progress, there's a moment when technology takes a leap, when the impossible becomes reality. The steam engine, the combustion motor, the electric vehicle, and now, perhaps the self-powered car. Maxwell may have just unlocked the next chapter in our technological evolution. The question isn't whether it works anymore. The question now is, how soon can the world get it? And as that sleek, silent car glides across the test track under its own infinite power, one thing becomes crystal clear: this is not the future anymore. This is the now. The age of self-powered transportation has begun. As the first images of Maxwell's self-powered car spread across the internet, the world collectively froze. Every social feed, every automotive forum, every news outlet, all talking about one thing: a vehicle that moves forever without charging or refueling. Some call it fake. Others call it divine. But those who've seen it up close? They call it the future. Inside Maxwell's private testing facility, deep in a remote location shielded from unwanted attention, a group of engineers watches data flow across dozens of holographic displays. The numbers never drop. Voltage remains stable. Power output exceeds consumption. The car runs and keeps running. One engineer leans back, his voice almost a whisper: it hasn't stopped for 11 days. The air in the room feels electric. Because what's happening here isn't supposed to happen. Not according to the laws of conventional engineering. Not according to energy conservation as we've always known it. Yet there it is, a machine that sustains itself. Maxwell steps into the room. He's calm, focused, analytical. The kind of man who carries both the patience of a scientist and the vision of an inventor. His hair slightly unkempt, eyes sharp behind frameless glasses. He doesn't smile often, but today, there's a hint of one. He looks at the screen, then at the car, and says quietly, "It's time." That phrase marks the moment history changes. Outside, cameras roll. Drones hover in silence. The sleek, silver prototype slowly emerges into daylight, its surface reflecting a spectrum of colors under the sun. It's unlike any car you've seen. Every curve seems purposeful. Every panel feels alive, as if energy itself flows beneath its skin. Observers describe the moment as surreal. The car glides forward soundlessly. It's not powered by batteries in the traditional sense: no lithium cells, no hydrogen tanks, no fossil fuel. Instead, it draws energy from an electromagnetic flux generator built directly into its frame. As the wheels move, micro-induction systems recycle mechanical energy back into electric current, creating a loop of continuous power. For decades, scientists have debated the possibility of self-sustaining motion. Most dismissed it as fantasy, a violation of physics. But Maxwell didn't want to defy physics. He wanted to expand it. He began years ago, studying magnetic resonance systems and quantum field behavior. His theory was simple, yet radical. If energy loss could be minimized through advanced material resonance, and if motion could feed into its own electromagnetic field with perfect synchronization, a closed loop might sustain itself indefinitely. No magic. Just precision. That's what this car represents, not a miracle, but mastery. Every movement, every vibration, every oscillation of the motor is harvested, redirected, and reused. Even the heat produced by internal components is captured by thermoelectric layers and converted back into power. In other words, the car wastes nothing. Behind the scenes, Maxwell's core team, less than 30 engineers, has spent years building the perfect materials to make this loop possible. Ultra-conductive alloys, nano-resonant circuits, self-healing composites that prevent energy loss at the molecular level. Each component was custom-built from the ground up. This isn't a car that could have existed 5 years ago. It's a product of an age where computing, materials science, and quantum engineering finally align. And the results are staggering. Test data shows that once set in motion, the Maxwell vehicle maintains stable kinetic and electric equilibrium indefinitely. The only reason it stops is human intervention. But what makes it even more remarkable is how practical it is. The vehicle isn't a laboratory contraption, it's a functional, drivable machine. Inside, it features adaptive AI that monitors every aspect of the system in real time. Sensors detect microfluctuations in power flow and instantly correct them. The result? A car that feels alive, almost sentient, always aware of its own energy heartbeat. Outside the test site, governments and corporations scramble to respond. Because if this technology proves scalable, it doesn't just disrupt the auto industry, it destabilizes global energy markets. Oil, gas, electricity, everything built on the assumption of consumption suddenly faces obsolescence. A single self-powered vehicle could mean no need for gas stations, charging networks, or even centralized power grids. That terrifies those who profit from energy dependency. Already, reports surface of corporate lobbyists pressuring media outlets not to cover Maxwell's breakthrough. Yet the footage has already gone viral. Millions of views in hours. The world has seen it. There's no putting it back. Meanwhile, Maxwell remains silent on interviews. He doesn't show up at conferences. No flashy marketing campaigns, no futuristic slogans. Just one message on his company's homepage. Energy belongs to everyone. Movement should be free. That sentence sparks a wave of global discussion. Students begin forming study groups online, trying to decode the science behind the car. Universities reach out, hoping to collaborate. Some governments even offer open funding to bring Maxwell's tech into public transportation. But with every light comes shadow. Not everyone wants this to succeed. Reports emerge of attempted data breaches, mysterious blackouts near the testing site, and unmarked helicopters spotted near Maxwell's lab perimeter. It's no longer just a story about innovation, it's becoming a story about control. Because what Maxwell has created threatens trillion-dollar industries. Oil companies, utility giants, battery manufacturers, they all have something to lose. And in the past, humanity hasn't always been kind to those who disrupt the system too much, too fast. Yet Maxwell continues undeterred. His focus isn't on profit or power, but progress. In one rare recorded statement, he says, "Humanity has spent a century inventing reasons to need energy. It's time we learned how to generate it endlessly, cleanly, and freely." The problem was never physics. It was permission. As his words echo online, people begin to realize this invention isn't just about transportation, it's about liberation. Imagine entire cities where every car, bus, or drone powers itself. Imagine rural communities no longer dependent on unstable fuel prices. Imagine disaster zones where vehicles never run out of power. The environmental impact alone could be earth-shifting. No emissions, no pollution, no chemical waste. Just infinite, renewable energy generated by motion itself. The dream of true sustainability, long promised, rarely delivered, may finally be within reach. Weeks after the public reveal, Maxwell's team conducts a global live test. The event is broadcasted worldwide. A convoy of self-powered cars drives continuously for 72 hours straight through heat, rain, and night without a single recharge. Audiences watch in disbelief as the dashboard readouts show stable energy flow throughout. The data is verified by independent observers. The world has no choice but to believe. The automotive world reacts instantly. Major carmakers hold emergency meetings. Electric vehicle stocks fluctuate wildly. And for the first time in decades, consumers see a technology that doesn't just improve on what exists, it replaces it completely. From that day, everything begins to change. Maxwell's technology sparks a new race not for speed, but for self-sufficiency. Universities rush to reverse engineer the principles. Small startups emerge overnight, all claiming to have similar concepts. But none match Maxwell's precision or stability. His car remains the benchmark, the first true self-powered vehicle in human history. And yet, Maxwell doesn't patent it. He doesn't lock it behind legal walls or exclusivity. Instead, he announces something no one expected: a global open-source initiative. His company releases simplified schematics and core scientific data to universities and independent researchers. The goal? Accelerate global development of clean, self-generating transportation. The internet explodes. Engineers, students, and innovators from all corners of the world join the movement. They call it the motion revolution. Online communities share blueprints, test designs, and experimental builds. For the first time, clean energy isn't a business, it's a global collaboration. But behind the optimism, tension grows. Global energy markets begin to destabilize. Oil futures crash. Governments reliant on fuel exports panic. And in the shadows, powerful entities begin to push back, quietly funding disinformation campaigns to discredit Maxwell's invention. Media outlets start running headlines like, "Too good to be true?" And experts doubt Maxwell's physics. But the footage, the data, and the demonstrations are impossible to deny. The truth is already out there, unstoppable and electric. Maxwell's movement continues to grow. More prototypes appear: bikes, boats, drones, all powered by variations of his closed-loop system. The possibilities seem endless. Humanity stands on the brink of an energy revolution not seen since the dawn of electricity itself. As the film of Maxwell's test drive continues, the camera follows the car along a long, empty road, stretching endlessly toward the horizon. The sun begins to set, and yet, the car keeps moving, steady, smooth, eternal. Months have passed since Maxwell's reveal, and the world has changed in ways no one could have predicted. The old world, one dependent on oil, power grids, and resource control, is fading. In its place, a new era emerges, one where energy is infinite, silent, and free. Cities glow cleaner. Oceans are quieter. The air feels lighter. Humanity, for the first time in a century, breathes without guilt. The self-powered car wasn't just a machine, it was a mirror. It forced us to look at what we once believed was impossible and realize we were the ones setting the limits. Maxwell's car didn't break physics, it broke our mindset. And that's why his next step project Continuum captures the imagination of the world once more. Hidden deep within the desert facility, Maxwell and his team work around the clock. The prototype they're building isn't for the road, it's for the stars. Reports begin to leak. Satellite photos reveal massive ring-shaped structures, humming with electromagnetic energy. Insiders whisper that Maxwell is attempting to scale his closed-loop system into a propulsion engine, one that could move not just cars, but spacecraft, without fuel or solar power. A ship powered by motion itself, endlessly traveling through the void. For decades, humanity's dreams of interstellar travel were bound by energy, limited by how much fuel we could carry. But what if motion could generate its own energy, even in the silence of space? Maxwell's team believes it's possible. And if it works, it could make humanity truly infinite, not just in motion, but in destiny. One evening, under a fading sun, a camera captures something extraordinary. A sleek, silver object, half ship, half art, rises slowly from the desert floor. It hovers silently, light rippling across its surface. Then, without warning, it accelerates upward, not with flame, not with sound, but with pure, fluid motion. It disappears into the clouds, leaving nothing but the whisper of energy in the air. The world watches the footage in disbelief. No boosters. No smoke. No fuel. Just movement, continuous, smooth, and eternal. The first self-powered craft in human history has taken flight. For the first time, energy and exploration have merged into one. Humanity has not only conquered motion, it has become one with it. Weeks later, Maxwell appears in a final recorded message. Calm, composed, illuminated by soft blue light, he looks directly into the camera and says, "We've spent a century chasing energy. Fighting for it. Polluting for it. Dying for it. But what we needed was never outside of us. It was motion, the rhythm of the universe itself. The energy was always here. We just had to listen." The self-powered car was just the beginning. Project Continuum is the next step, a movement beyond boundaries, beyond dependence. Not a new world, but a new understanding of the one we already have. Energy is infinite. Life is motion. And motion never stops. The screen fades to black as his final words echo through the silence. Then one image fades in, a still shot of the original self-powered car, resting quietly in the desert night, its body glowing softly under the stars. Somewhere, long after we're gone, motion will still flow. Energy will still hum. And someone, somewhere, will remember the day Maxwell proved that nothing truly ends, it only continues. The hum of the car grows louder, resonating like a heartbeat. The camera pans upward through the atmosphere, through the blackness of space until the planet itself comes into view. Earth glows in blue and gold, pulsing with motion, alive and endless.